Hello everybody, Zagrom back, and back in the Novelist today. Let's see, uh, last time I made some notes last time, so I could remember what it all was that I had actually done previously. Let's see, Chapter 1 we helped out Linda and Dan. Chapter 2 we helped out Tommy and Dan. So Chapter 2 is a bit of an important one because I didn't really realize until I was doing the post editing stuff that is it already it's weird, it's nighttime, but we're just starting this chapter, I think. But oh my god, this window is very loud. But it wasn't until after I was doing the actual editing on the last video, chapter 2, where I was in chapter 2, that I realized that it was about the money, which can be a bit of an issue. The fact that we didn't help Linda out, it's made kind of Dan seem sort of selfish. What was the kid's name again? Tommy, I think. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we're gonna play chapter, I think 3 now. I checked the files, the game files, to kind of get an idea how long this game was, and I think it has 5 stages. Let's get this note. See, Mr. Kaplan, I want to stress that it's perfectly normal for some children to... Do we read this? Fall behind in a specific area. Tommy may be struggling with reading comprehension, but his verbal and visual abilities are excellent. That said, he won't be able to catch up on his own. He will need support from both of you. I recommend that you do the attached exercise with Tommy every weekly morning, for 1 or 2 hours. He will be unable to focus exclusively on these for 2 hours straight, so you'll need to take intermediate breaks, but use your judgment to stay with it as long as you feel he can stay engaged. I suggest that you do your sessions in the morning before he tires himself out and becomes distracted. I feel confident that with a supportive environment and dedicated exercise, he will catch up with the other children in his class. Please be in touch if you have any questions. So I guess Tommy was maybe getting bullied based on the fact that he has some troubles learning. It doesn't mean he's necessarily slow. He just has troubles here and there. Right. So we've read that. It's mosey about. I believe I've still remained completely undetected to the family here. It's a very loud fridge. I think my volume in the game may have gone up since I last played, because it seems louder. Let's see if we can't maybe sneak into Dan here. I don't know where Linda's at. He doesn't seem to be... Oh, there he goes. He's thinking. There we go. What's Dan thinking about? Oh, we got some stuff going on in here. Let's check it out. Hello?
Whoa. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped. I just...
Dan kind of got mad about... Maybe Linda was asking about how was the book going, and it's just not going as good as he'd hope. Dan? You doing alright?
Just got back from town with the latest issue. Flipped to the back and there it was. My book in the up next column. Stared at it for 5 minutes. Feeling in my stomach was not pleasant. But now it's out there. It's terrifying and irreversible. Maybe I should have placed a full ad. But even like this, the book is out there. Thousands of people are going to read that list. To them, the book is exactly what they want it to be. Some finished, beautiful thing. If only they could see it right now. A bunch of jigsaw pieces on the floor. And I've got to put them all together. Fast.
Alright, so Dan's he's now put himself on a deadline that he has to finish. So maybe we'll help him out in speeding up that process this time around. So let's exit the memory. Figure out where... oh, here's a thing.
Alan, This letter might come from out of the blue, but do you remember when you told me about Bobby falling behind on reading? Looks like we're there with Tommy. We knew he was struggling when we came up here, but his teacher gave us a list of books for him to work on over the break and said we should see how he responded to the change in environment. She gave us a few sample readings and told us to keep an eye on how he was grasping the concepts. Tommy still isn't there, and long story short, the pediatrician in town knows a specialist who gave us some exercises to try. They seem pretty straightforward, but I wanted to write and see if you had any tips that helped you guys with Bobby. Damn. Just realized I didn't even ask how you've been. I'm sorry. This stuff is just a lot to think about. Dan.
Alright, so Dan's asking advice from a friend who may have had a child with a similar issue. Let's see. Here's his... Okay, he's got his schedule. Single unattached writer's guide. That's a bit... That's a bit concerning, because he's kind of labeled... I already read his thoughts, don't worry about it. He's kind of labeled himself, his list, as being unattached, meaning not having to worry about his wife and kid. So, that's a potentially concerning issue.
Hey, bud.
Let's see. Lonnie learns letters ages 4 through 6 chapters. Okay, right? So, some reading lessons. Sweet backpack. Oh, there she is. Let's hop in here. Hello. Oh, we can make time, right? See if we can get into Tommy's head then. What you doing?
Will it make me smarter?
Honey, listen to me. You are smart.
Oh man, I can tell there's going to be a difficult decision on this one. Let's see, I guess it's downstairs. Oops, I meant to go here. Hello? We've already seen this drawing, haven't we?
Maybe
Exit.
like...
Nah, is that, yeah, that's the book. He's got it all scribbled out. He doesn't want to do the work. I got another picture over there. If I remember, I'll try and grab that a little bit later. Where's...
So important.
Oh, there she is. Have to make room for what matters. Okay.
Gotta spend more time together.
Why can't I? Oh, maybe I haven't found enough of her crap. Let's see. Got that note there. Let's see, ideas. Weekly outing. Okay, she's trying to think of ideas to maybe keep the family going on together fine. Oh man, this is going to be a tough one to choose who gets the help.
Dan and I had a good conversation today. Well, we'll have to wait and see if it was actually good, but I feel like I got my point across about family time. We've been getting a little frayed on the little things lately, and it reminded me of something Anne said one time. Love is a behavior, not an emotion. If something's important to you, you show it with your actions. We weren't doing so well with that before we got here. I told Dan my idea. I want us all to eat together at 7 every night, with family time after that. Tommy's wiped out by 8:30, so we'd get a solid hour and a half as a family, and then Dan and I could have the rest of the night to ourselves. And I think 7's a reasonable request. The rest of the working world knocks off at 5, right? It doesn't really matter what we do with the time, just that we spend it together. It's easy to make excuses when you've got a lot going on, which is why patterns help. I hope he feels the same way.
Hmm. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. I'm not trying to schedule family time is kind of an odd thing. I feel like sometimes. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Just because, how do you schedule working around with your family? It just seems it's like something that should just, happen. We need to get in Linda's head, and let's get this picture over up here. Lou. Oh, that's Tommy being bullied. No, what? Oh God, I did not see him. Oh wait, no, we've already been in here. I think did I read this book over here? Oh, it's a journal, but hello, journal.
Time. This would all be easier if I didn't ever have to sleep. Last night after Linda went to bed, I spent some time, there's that word again, trying to make everything fit. I even drew up a little chart. The math is simple. It doesn't work. Technically, I could still get in 8 hours, assuming I don't eat or need to do anything that's not writing. But what about letters, reading, dealing with Paul? Hell, what about doing the dishes or taking out the trash? Not to mention that knocking off for the day isn't like flipping off a switch. It takes time to crawl out of my head and start functioning like a normal person again. And I can't just split it up into smaller chunks. Sometimes it takes an hour of false starts just to get going on anything usable. And stopping just sends the whole process right back to square one. Something's got to give.
Well, Dan, to you I recommend polyphasic sleep schedules. They do wonders if you can get into them. Let's see, Linda, where are you? We need to hop inside your head. Where did she go? That's Dan, right? What is he talking about? New rule, don't disturb me if the door is closed. Okay, that's... Yeesh. That's not great. But he does need to get this book done. Oh, goodness. There we go.
We barely talked yesterday.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Stared at a blank canvas again today. Got a few strokes in, but I don't like any of them, and I'll probably paint over them tomorrow. It's so frustrating going into that room every day and trying to keep working. It's easy to get out of the house for errands or go for a hike, but none of that helps the work as much as being around other artists. I'm not gonna give up. Maybe I can use this feeling in my new piece. Definitely. I'll try that out tomorrow.
I feel... I'm trying to decide who it is I'm going to be, because I've been thinking about this the whole time, who it is I need to help. It's really... Oops, I need to do it here. Ooh, wow, that was close. Oh wait, what is it you want? Alright, I think I've decided. Okay, let's see what
Hi,
he
Dad.
wants.
Hey, my man.
I mean, it's a very, very tough decision. I think if we're helping Tommy out, it's helping him, make him want to do his studies so that he can get better and avoid being teased and stuff. And you just walked directly over your child. That's very
Wow,
rude,
can I
sir.
see it?
It's not done yet.
It's not done. Give him a minute. If we help Dan, it'll help him get his book done faster, which he kind of needs to do. He's on a deadline now. So, I mean, his wife should need to kind of understand that to some extent, but I understand her issue of having, wanting to keep the family together and not really getting the feedback out of Dan that she would like. So I think what it is I'm going to do is I'm going to primarily help Dan with the secondary of Linda. Mostly because I feel like helping out them will help out the kid in the long run. Especially seeing as it's up to them to keep the kid, keep Tommy active on doing his studies in the first place. It shouldn't be Tommy's job to have to stress out over that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully that doesn't seem like the wrong thing. I hear somebody walking around. I want to... Okay, selecting the door. Right. Dan's resolution for this chapter. Linda to Tommy at this point, however, if you discover Linda to Tommy's desire, I haven't spoken to them yet, you'll have to... We've already read all this before. Right. That's decided. And like I said, I will probably be picking the kitchen table for Linda's choice. To kind of compromise. I don't know how you're going to compromise that, but I don't want them to, you know, break things off because of me. Hello? From the desk of Harold Baxter, January 22nd, 1948. A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest, but I've given its history of frequent ownership changes. I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. I believe I can set up a trust or perhaps a shell company and convince Mr. Laurie that we must part with the property for less than the market value. I feel certain I can appeal to this commerciative nature. I believe it will prove to be a shared investment as a rental property, and I think I understand why people do not stay for extended periods. I finally find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here, I've found my mind drifting in strange ways, as if it was not always my own. But the natural beauty of undeniable is undeniable. Perhaps shorter visits are a wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe that is a fine idea indeed. Right. Yeesh. It's almost like I didn't start off with English as my primary language. And my jaw is popping whenever I speak right now, which is very annoying. Hello. Usually there's 2 of these little book journal things scattered here and there. Book. It's probably in here. Or not here, but where is... Oh, no. Press escape to keep... Yes. I was close, but screwed that up. Second book? Where's the second book? There's usually 2, right? Am I insane? Have we checked everywhere? I guess, kid, you just need to relax, alright? Let's see. I don't want to miss anything, but I don't see... Wait, I read this one. That's the one I read. Wait a second. Okay. Just making sure it said table. It wasn't glowing. This one doesn't glow, and I don't think this one is glowing either. That's worrying. Wait, this one maybe? I don't know. I'm still looking for this other book. Hello? Okay, I'm gonna give the house one last run over, and then I'll give up. But usually, I think, if I remember right, there's usually been 2 of these books by this Baxter fellow per stage. It's on the bookshelf. New. Nothing here. Nothing here. And then there's that. How does... Oh. Is this... The Diary of Claire Bradford. September 4th, 1961. We're here, so why don't I feel more excited? This was supposed to be fun. Just Roger and me, Mom, Dad, and I think we're here with Ben and Lori. But of course, that was just a trick. Nope, just Roger and me in this big house by the ocean for the whole week. I'm sad to see that there's no piano here, but I suppose a week without practice won't do me too much harm. I guess maybe being alone with Roger that long is what's making me feel nervous, though why should that be? He's my fiancé after all. I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with him. I shouldn't be worried about spending the week with him, should I? Everyone has second thoughts before they get married, right? So I guess this is a memory of somebody else who stayed in the house after Baxter purchased the property. I think he, I guess, just rents it out to people, which I assume we're doing right now. And people just, come on vacation for a week or 2 or whatever. Can we select this table, please? It doesn't glow, which... Hello? I want to select this table. What? Whoa, was something... I thought I saw text there, but I guess... Okay, no, it's just a possessed thing. No. I'm super duper confused. Okay, look. Linda, family should have dinner around the table every night. Alright, I agree. Where the flip is this table? Because I've selected every obvious table. Oh, no, I haven't. I'm just dumb. This is the obvious table. Right. Yes, I'm happy with this decision. Let's go upstairs. Dan, what you need to do is finish your flipping book, but don't go to bed at 7 like your list says you should do. Stay up for another at least 30 minutes. Give them a break, all right? They're your family. Oh yeah, I gotta read this. When Dan couldn't come up with a schedule that worked for everyone, he made the decision to protect his working hours. He asked not to be disturbed if his office doors were closed. For the rest of the summer, he struck to the strict schedule with dedicated schedule every day. Good Lord. Talking. Dan couldn't find time to knock off completely at 7 every night, but he agreed to have dinner at the table each night before heading back to work. Linda and Tommy missed him after dinner with the sound of his typewriter, the only sign that he was even in the house, but they were glad of the time they had at the table. Tommy didn't understand why his father, a writer, wouldn't help him with his reading lessons. Linda devoted herself to Tommy's morning practice, but only having one parent there sent a message that Tommy couldn't forget. The sound of blah, blah, blah. Dan's typewriter was, I don't know. And that's how the Kaplan's first month at the house on the cliff came to an end. Oh, okay. So maybe this is like the halfway point, give or take. Dan sent a work in progress to his agent, who was glad to see that Dan had gotten back on track. They were both hopeful that Dan could maintain his focus and write a book that delivered a promise for his work so far. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and drove into town for a date. They spent more than they should on a bottle of wine and had such a good time that they didn't notice everyone else leaving. When they finally realized they were the last ones in the restaurant, they apologized and gave the waitress a generous tip. Ooh, I finished that one. The next day, Dan made a good on a promise to take Tommy to the woods and look for arrowheads. Though they barely had the time, Tommy could tell his father was disinterested, but once they found an arrowhead, his spirits improved a bit. Dan waited while Tommy explored and some other stuff that was really good. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't read it. They still had 2 more months on the coast, and their story was just beginning. Wow, okay, I very much misread the data files. The game is going to be a bit longer than I think I expected. Well, I think that's about where I'm going to call this episode. I'm going to finish reading this. A Full House. A friend of Dan's was coming to visit, but something happened. Someone has turned off a few lights in the house. Lights that have been turned off cannot be possessed. Press E to continue. That's not a huge issue. I only use a few of them anyway. Oh, I hope they don't get rid of the one above the table. I like that one for some reason. And that one's not even very obviously off. Right, so like that one's off. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. I'll continue putting these out. I've expected to maybe like pre-record and fly through this, today. But that doesn't seem like it's going to happen, maybe. I mean, I could probably finish it today, but I'm not going to do that if the game's quite a bit longer. So, like I said, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.